At family dinner, my father asked if my allowance was enough. When I asked what allowance, his face went completely white. For 4 months straight, I had been working 3 different jobs. I was tutoring high school students, doing weekend event staffing, and working bar shifts until 2 in the morning. My classes ran until 3 in the afternoon, then straight to tutoring until 6. Quick dinner of instant noodles, then bar work until closing. I got home around 3 in the morning, studied until 5, slept for 2 hours, and repeated everything again. I was surviving on cheap ramen and day-old bread. When textbooks cost $400 each, I photocopied pages at the library. My friends went out Thursday nights while I served drinks to businessmen who tipped in singles. My bank account never went above $200. Every dollar was calculated. 50 for groceries, 30 for laundry. I wore the same 3 shirts, and my shoes had holes covered with duct tape. Meanwhile, my sister Emma flooded Instagram from London. Designer coffee at trendy cafes. Weekend trips to Edinburgh. New luxury dresses with captions like, "Mum always knows exactly what I need." When I begged my mother for just $200 for groceries, she said money was incredibly tight. My father's medical practice was struggling, and paying my tuition was already stretching their budget. I worked harder, picked up extra shifts, skipped meals to save money. Last Friday, everything changed. I was carrying cocktails when the room started spinning. I reached for the bar to steady myself, then nothing. I woke up in a hospital bed with an 4 drip. The doctor was stern. I had collapsed from severe exhaustion and malnutrition. My blood sugar was dangerously low. My bar manager told me to take the rest of the month off. That meant losing $1,200 I desperately needed. My friend Marcus visited with groceries and made spaghetti. While eating my first real meal in weeks, he said something that shattered my world. He asked how my father, a successful surgeon with a luxury car, could claim the family had no money. How was my sister affording London if money was so tight I was working myself into a hospital? That night, I called Emma. I asked how she was managing financially in London. She laughed and said, "Mum transfers me about $3,000 every month, plus extra whenever I need something special. $3,000 monthly plus extras," while I was told there was not a single dollar to spare. At Sunday dinner, when Dad asked about my allowance, I watched our family explode. Dad said, "I've been sending $2,000 every month since you started university." Mom kept cutting her roast, not looking up. Dad asked where all my money went. Finally, Mom admitted she had not sent any money to me. She had been keeping it all for Emma instead. Dad asked why. Mom said Emma needed it more. She was studying fashion in London, which is expensive, and she needs to look the part. Emma has potential. She is special and delicate. I was exactly like my father. Practical. I would be fine. I did not need help. Dad discovered Mom had been sending Emma $3,000 monthly for living expenses, plus another $2,000 to $3,000 some months for events and designer clothes. While I collapsed from malnutrition, my sister burned through $5,000 to $6,000 monthly. Then Dad discovered the nuclear bomb. Mom had been secretly diverting money from our family trust fund, money meant to be split equally between Emma and me at 25. She had moved $300,000 into a separate account under only Emma's name. Dad repeated slowly, $300,000. You stole $300,000 from our son. Dad froze every account that night and filed for divorce the next week. When his lawyer presented evidence of the financial misconduct, the hidden accounts, the systematic diversion of funds, the judge was completely unsympathetic to Mom's claim. 2 years later, I am thriving in medical school with proper nutrition and sleep. My grades shot up immediately. Dad is happier than I have ever seen him. He visits me in Boston every few months, and we have grown closer than ever. Emma learned to budget, got a part-time job, and built a successful small fashion line working within constraints. Mom works retail at a department store and lives in a small studio apartment, finally experiencing what financial struggle feels like. The collapse that started everything led us to rebuild our family on truth instead of lies.